as he already introduced us, so I don't need to do it anymore. The project is about smart document classification at PostFinance. It's about documents which customers send us and will get classified into different business cases. So PostFinance offers a wide variation of services. So there are 360 different business cases. So a business case could be the opening of a credit card, the opening of an account, or closing of an account, and so on, and change of an address. And if paper comes in, some of the papers are structured, which are like forms from PostFinance, and others are just letters from customers. And if you will see it later in some graphics, if it's a structured document, we know already what the customer wants because of the form, because of QR codes, and if it's unstructured, one person has to classify it. The users choose when there's a letter, it's digitalized, also the first step is it will get scanned, and then they have to choose one out of 160 business cases which are possible by paper. And about 20 users do this every day for about 1 hour per user. These are PostFinance employees who do this. And to do this task correctly, the users need in-depth knowledge about all the products and processes in order to carry it out correctly. Because, some processes are processed by specialized teams and so on, which is really important that you get your service at the right time. And so to say, this project went live 4 weeks ago. The solution is that LCOM has developed services that allows PostFinance to classify the documents automatically. And we have integrated the services into our infrastructure and the whole process of classifying the documents. And it's a solution based on open source libraries. And it increased the processing rate and automated processing of documents. So what we get from our customers is 27% are structured mailings, so they just send us forms. 44% are mixed mailings. These consist of unstructured and structured stuff. You will see it on the next 2 slides. And 29% is completely unstructured, so letters from customers you will see on the next slide to make it more clear. On the left side, you see cancellation of an account, which is the form, blacked out, so no customer data here. And on the right side, this customer wants the same thing, but he writes us a letter. It's a fake letter, so no customer data here. And basically, both customers want the same. One uses the form, one writes us a letter. And when it's structured, we know what it is because of the QR code on the bottom. That is a cancellation form, and we just need to OCR the account number, and we know who it is, what he wants. And on the right side, before we had this project, some employee needs to read the document, choose the according category. Here is cancellation of an account, and type the account number in our system, which is which takes more time than just because the left form can be processed automatically, and the right one takes quite a bit of time if you need to read the whole document. And here's an example of mixed mailings. It's about like a monthly payment, and they use the form and send us a payment slip with it. So it's something which we call unstructured, although it has a certain format and everything, but for us it's unstructured. Or like the opening of an account, you need to fill out this form, and we have ID copies with it, and so that's an example of mixed mailings. We started a project with a proof of concept, and we started the proof of concept in last summer, and ended it in September 2018. The first step in our proof of concept was we took 38,000 documents which were labeled by these 20 people who do it every day in 76 different business cases, and we tried to do like machine learning with these user-labeled documents. We only had an accuracy of 40%. So at this step, we knew that we need to have expert-labeled data to get a better accuracy, because 40%, it's not that good. So we did like a second iteration where experts labeled the data, only 48 business cases, and then we got up to an accuracy of 80%. This showed us already that it's not possible to do like an active learning and everything, because the users are not accurate enough, that you need experts to label data for the training set. And Elcos suggested and developed classifiers because it's a little bit more complicated if you OCR the data, the document, than when you just receive an email or whatever. And you get stuff like IDs and payment slips, which are not like letters. You will see the classifiers later, which we need to classify all these documents. And from December 2018 until May 2019 was development and testing phase, and Elcos delivered these classifiers as Docker images. It's in our Kubernetes infrastructure at PostFinance's running. And we did the configuration optimization of the services, integrated it into the workflow, the classifiers, because we still process structured mailings, structured documents as we did before. And we had to build a productive training set where we asked like process owners of the different products if they can say us which documents belong into their processes. This was one of the biggest parts of the and most time-consuming parts of the whole project. About the integration, our main task was the orchestration of the different containers to configure it in Kubernetes, because first Elcos built it in Docker Compose and we had to migrate it to Kubernetes. And as I said, one of the main tasks was building the training set for the classification and testing it, because it was completely new for us, so we didn't know what the accuracy means, which we get from these classifiers, which you will see afterwards. And we had to evaluate the classification results, see if the classifiers are really accurate or not. What does it mean if the classifier says it's 20% this means this, it's really this, or is 20% the classifier is unsure, and stuff like this, which we had to evaluate. And we also built like an image recognition for IDs and payment slips, because you will see it here on this slide. We get an image first, then we do a QR code recognition, so we know if it's a PostFinance form or not. If it's a PostFinance form, we do structured processing. Otherwise, we first do an image analysis. It's a component apprentice built, and he recognizes if it's an ID, a payment slip, and if it's not an ID or payment slip, we say it's unstructured. Then we OCR the whole page. We call the smart document classification, which Robert will show afterwards, which consists of different services. And then we built a synchronization service, it's so-called, which combines the results of the classification services, because we have 360 classes and only 76 are in the training set, or about 70, I guess. And If it's another category, we hope that the results of the different classes are quite low, so we don't take just like the result with the highest percentage. There are some algorithms which question the results from the classification, basically. Robert will tell you about services.
So this is the document classification service that was developed by ELCA, and this is a web service which contains the following services. So we have good quality OCR classification service, ID classification service, so this is the ID documents, and then language classification service, and finally business case classification service, right? So this is the whole workflow. So here, blue components are the components developed by ELCA, and yellow components are components developed by PostFinance, and this is how this integration looks like, yeah? So first we have this good quality OCR classifier, then we have ID document classifier, then we do some post-processing, finally we do language classification, and at the end, business case classification, right? So this is the final result. Okay, so we follow here a standard web service architecture, and I would like to stress it, everything was built using open source libraries. So we have this classification web service, so all of those classifiers follow this architecture, and we have, of course, a client, right? A client which manages resources on the web service. So here, of course, we can manage corpora, classifier types, training, testing, tasks. And now, what are the benefits of smart document classification as PostFinance? So first of all, as was mentioned, this is already a productive solution. So we process daily 25,000 documents, right? And with this accuracy of 80%, what are the main benefits? So of course, a reduction in processing time. However, here the evaluation is still pending because the system went live in May. And of course, reduction in exceptions in the end-to-end process, and improvement in the overall quality of the service. So what are the lessons learned? Of course here, so this was the first experience at PostFinance with automatic text classification. So of course a proper set of label examples. Training set is crucial for the success of automatic text classification. And here we have those standard components that determine a proper data set, right? So appropriate size, representativeness, labeling quality. And representativeness, of course, we talk about a good representation of all classes, and also a good representation of judges, right, of the experts, which provided the label. Okay, so now I give it to Dennis.
So, the most important part on the business side is that the break-even point will be reached in approximately 1 year. So we only calculated like the time we need less to classify all the documents, and we didn't take like everything in account. Like sometimes user classifies documents as I don't know what it is, and the machine is sometimes really more accurate and says it's a closing of an account or something like this. So you need to label it twice when the machine wouldn't do it, and we only calculated it once. And as I mentioned before, Also, there are different business cases. If you want to, if you lose your account card, you want to cancel it quite fast, and yeah, this way the machine can make sure that something which is really important gets processed faster. If a user says, I don't know what it is, which business case it is, it can take up to like 7 days. And if the machine knows it's important, an important business case, which yeah, need to be done today, it can reduce also like the complaints and everything. This is something we didn't calculate in this calculation, that it will be reached in 1 year. And the second thing is what I mentioned. If a user says, I don't know what it is, or it's a modification of an account, that's what users say if they don't know what it is. It needs to be classified twice, or and it gets people angry if it's classified wrong. And with a better quality, which we have now, it also takes away work in other applications. And experience gained from this project will help us to apply machine learning for other cases in PostFinance. We think about maybe classify emails you send us, or secure messages with something like this, which should be easier because you don't need to do OCR and bad OCR classification and stuff like this. It's one of the things we think about, but not sure yet what we will do with experience. But so far we're quite happy with the project. It's live since 4 weeks now, and there were only minor mistakes. I checked quite a lot of the data when we still had the user label it in production, and I had on a testing environment the machine learning. I could see like the machine does it a little bit differently, but overall it's more accurate. There are some documents where the machine was more precise than the user, and in some cases the user more precise, but it's also like you can attack this problem with different methods. Like you can build a better training set, add more examples. I can give you one example we had a problem with. It was like cancellations of funds accounts with user-written letters, because we had quite a few examples from people who want to go to another bank. So we had like 10 examples in the training set of letters from Raiffeisen, where they opened a funds account at Raiffeisen and want to cancel the account with us. But we only had like 2 examples of user-written letters, where they really write the letter. And so I had to search for more examples of user-written letters. And so like the percentage which it said that's cancellation of a funds account went up and up. And like other things were to develop more algorithms to calculate the result in the end, and play with the thresholds there. And yeah, this was mostly my task for like 2 months, just to make sure it works in production, because this is quite time consuming. I mean, I said the services were done with like open source components, but the cool thing about this solution is it's integrated in the whole infrastructure. It gets processed with these libraries. And basically that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.